Welcome back to the Means Report. We appreciate you staying with us as we continue to talk about the situation in Iran and how it impacts us, how global events affect us, particularly when it comes to cybersecurity. And so we thought it would be a great idea to reach out to our friends at Augusta University and get these next two great guests. First of all, Rod Arthur is the Director of Cybersecurity Operations at AU, so he brings a wealth of information for how we can protect ourselves and how bad actors and hackers operate, what they're out to do. Komal Balar is a student. So Rod and Komal, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Rod, first of all, let's just get to the recent headlines, which is a huge honor that you all just won, courtesy of Computer Security Online. What did that organization recognize you for, and kind of what went into earning that honor? Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So that award was really, it was truly born out of necessity. We opened up our Security Operations Center in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there were numerous budget cuts that occurred as a result of that across the state. So the resources that we had originally planned for the Security Operations Center to be a 24/7 operations capability, those funds disappeared, the resources disappeared. So we had really kind of a minimal manning across our operations center. So over the course of the next year or two, we began looking at alternate resources. What could we do? And the big one was taking advantage of having our students that are there, giving them the opportunity to come in, work internships, work as student assistants. So we started expanding that budget to hire more student assistants. They can come in, they can work 25 hours a week. We try to keep them in there for a full year. Mm-hmm. Due to the budget of that, we maxed out how many students we could bring in. So we went over to the School for Computer and Cyber Sciences and asked them for some additional funding, which they did provide, which gave us more students. We still had a huge interest in students getting in there. So we created a course credit where you can come in there for a semester. The only requirement is the student works 15 hours per week in the Operations Center, learn all the tools and everything that the other students are learning, and they get 3 course credit hours as a result of that. So we have a huge interest in that as well. Every semester when that vacancy opens up, we're overwhelmed with requests.
Well, and now because of this award, you're clearly being recognized off the campuses of AU, and people around the country and world are seeing what you're doing. Yes. Komal, let me ask you this. What led you to be interested in cybersecurity? It's a very specific area of life, if you will. I have college-age sons, and you don't see a whole lot of people pursuing careers in that. What kind of lit the spark for you?
So I've always had an interest in technology, but it wasn't up until high school when I learned about ethical hacking and how you can exploit the system. And so that's when I learned that cybersecurity is a very crucial part in day-to-day life. And so from getting hands-on experience through Augusta University's classroom, as well as the security operation, and just getting real-time experience sparked interest, but that's really what confirmed what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a spark that stays lit, thank goodness. Are y'all, just so we can picture you properly, are y'all in that fancy Georgia Cybersecurity Center building downtown?
Yes.
Okay, it still seems new to me, but it's one of those newer buildings, and y'all are there. So what is class like, Komal? Are you sitting there and they try to give you scenarios where bad actors are trying to hack into our systems and it's your job to block them? Is that what class looks like?
So class varies. There's one particular class that we have is penetration testing.
Yeah.
Where we are, for an example, we go through a virtual network where we're scanning the network. We play scenarios where our professor will hide malicious activity that a threat actor would be doing.
Yeah.
And we, as ethical hackers, will go in and try to find where that malicious activity is happening, as well as performing digital forensics, as well as finding clues and hints to where threat actors might have left for malicious activity to find out.
I mean, you're just constantly looking for people who are trying to go places that
Right.
we don't want them. And so the question for you, Rod, is, If we don't have Komal and her team by our side 24/7, how do we protect our information? Let's start at home. Your iPad, your iPhone, how do we make sure that bad folks don't get in there?
So a couple basic things. Everybody's operating off of their Wi-Fi at home. Lock down your Wi-Fi, change the default password on your router. Every router has a little password on the back label.
Yeah.
Typically, most people don't change that. It's a good idea to change that.
Why? Because someone can guess it?
I don't know if there could be some just common ones that are used.
Yeah.
There's nothing unique about those. Mine, I know the recent one I had, it's all lowercase letters. So again, one of the big things is your login credentials, your username and password. Passwords, treat a password like you would your social security number.
Man.
You want to protect that at all means. You don't want to reveal that. You don't want to post it. You don't want to create strong passwords, change them frequently every 6 months. Use letters that or symbols for letters like a $sign for an S when you're writing out your password.
Yeah.
And don't store your passwords in a Word file on your computer.
How about in your notes app?
Don't keep them in your notes on your
What?
phone. So,
how easy is it for you? And I'm just going to throw my questions away because what y'all are talking about is fascinating, and it's day-to-day life for all of us. Passwords and what's on the back of our router, all that we see every day. Can you guess passwords? Can you and your classmates? Is it easy for y'all if you came to my house to go, okay, I bet you I know what your password is for your Wi-Fi, and maybe get it within 10 tries?
I wouldn't say typically easy,
Yeah.
but there are very common passwords. If you were just going to go with lowercase letters, then it's just the very common. For an example, I've had family members I'm just going to throw it out there, just have incorrect as a password because it's easy to remember.
What?
Incorrect 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
And that's an easy guess for a hacker to just go ahead and just put that in there. And if they guess that right, they have access to whatever they have access to.
And Rod, I'm sorry for interrupting. I know there are other ways to protect our information at home. You mentioned a couple of them. Go to the workplace now. Should we hire a private company to come in and make sure our systems at work are safe versus doing it ourselves?
that's always an option.
Yeah.
Security services aren't cheap. You have to have a budget to be able to pay for these things. The tools that we have to use when we're monitoring are again, they're expensive tools that require a lot of maintenance and knowledge on how those tools work and what they're actually reporting when they're monitoring your system and looking for nefarious activity or some type of malicious activity on your network.
Our time, first of all, is flying by. Jarrett just gave me a cue in my ear, and so I'll speed up and try to get a couple more questions in. How do we stay one step ahead of our enemies? You know, one day we may feel like we have cutting edge technology to stop hackers in their tracks, and the next day they figured out a way around that. It has to change day to day.
It's every day.
Yeah.
It's a cat and mouse game continuously every day. Even in the middle of an event, we can have actors that are changing their mode of operations in the middle of what they're trying to do against us, and we have to change our defenses against that. So there's things that we can do. Multi-factor authentication is a very key security control that everybody should be using, especially if you're working with financial institutions, working on your banking accounts. You know, you should not use the same passwords. You should be able to multi-factor into those without somebody being able to have access, through some other means. And then one of the things I wanted to mention were the scams you see. Most of these are all about making money. So their goal was to try to get into your bank account. You may get a text, you may get an email. It looks like it's coming from your bank. It'll include a link in it. Never click on those links. If you're concerned, go to your bank's website directly and log in with your credentials. That'll probably have multi-factor associated with it. If you go to those, click on those links, it's guaranteed it's going to pop up probably a screen that looks like your financial institution.
Yeah.
With a login screen. And then the bad actors are going to just take your login credentials, and now they can log into your banking account
And
because they have those credentials.
No, you're right. And sometimes if you just study the email enough, you'll see Dear Rod and 2 commas after that, after the salutation. that's not how you do an email, or they may say it's from Microsoft and put 2 T's at the end of Microsoft. Probably one more question. What do you want to be when you grow up? When you've gotten your undergrad, you told me you're pursuing your master's, which I know you're going to get with flying colors. What do you want to do? Do you want to jump in the middle of all this tension going on in the world and try to make a difference?
So far, the short-term goal is just pursuing my master's right now in information security management here at AU. So that's just to further my knowledge in governance, policy, and risk management, and just gain all the knowledge I can as an intern here at the Security Operations Center. But for the long-term goal, I really want to go into cyber threat intelligence, and just how we were talking about the fast, rapid pace at cybersecurity and how threats are just rapidly evolving. Just to be an impact and be a part of that change is something that I really want to do.
Well, you're going to do it in a huge way, I feel. I'm claiming it for you right now, Komal. Rod, I can't thank y'all enough for being here. I know our time was short, but thanks for what you're both doing to keep us safer. Appreciate it. And educate us. No, we appreciate it. Teaching the leaders of tomorrow. It's inspiring. When we come back, how you can help us get more great guests like the ones we've had today on the Means Report.